Good day. This is Doc coming to you from Iowa this time. My wife and I are headed back to South Africa in a couple of weeks, but I'd like to welcome you back to Adventures in Africa with Doc. Thank you for joining us. We're having a great time recording interviews of many of my friends and people that have visited our campus in South Africa and just some of my African friends to share with our guests experiences that they've had in our beautiful country of South Africa. Today we have a special of guests. We have two ladies that have worked with me actually for many years now, and they particularly work in a program we call Girls Empowerment. We have Cindy, who is with St. Francis Church, and actually Juliana is the same church. And they have been amazing and help us with our Girls Empowerment program, encouraging women all over America to get involved with this program and sew purses that we ship over to South Africa and have our African girls get a menstrual hygiene kit in their new purse. And we'll just be talking about that program and some of their other experiences that they've had in working with us over the last several years. Juliana, let's start with you. You're in your own personal studio. Introduce yourself to my audience, please.
Hi, I'm Juliana Dreyer. I live here in Waukee, Iowa. And as Doc said, I go to St. Francis Catholic Church. And I've had the pleasure of going on a mission trip in three times. And the first one in 2015, 16, and 17. So it's about time that I get back over there.
I agree entirely. We'd love to have you come this year if you can, or in January, which I guess will technically be next year, but we'll see what God provides for you. But thank you for joining
Exactly.
us today.
Sure.
And Cindy came into my studio here in Beaverdale. Cindy, would you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Cindy Pierce, and I got involved with this program because of Juliana. She was the driving force behind me joining.
Well, thank you, ladies. And when were you in South Africa, Cindy?
I was just there this year in January for my first time.
Amazing. Well, let's start with you since your experience is the most fresh in Africa, and then we want to get into details about what both of you do with the Sewing and Girls Empowerment Program. But why did you particularly choose to come on this trip that you came last January?
It was the third time I had attempted to go. I had signed up the previous 2 years, but had health issues with either myself or my husband that would not allow me to go. And I've been praying for the health to allow me to go on the trip. And I just set the date and said, okay, God, we're going to do this. And He made it possible for me to be able to travel in January.
Well, as God would have it, it was a perfect time for you to come. We were blessed to have Bishop Joensen on that trip, and it was just one of our best trips that we've ever had. And so you were very fortunate that maybe you got delayed and you got on that particular trip. Tell us a little bit about that trip, and you don't even have to start with girls empowerment. What do you remember about it?
First of all, the best part was meeting the team over in South Africa. I had been on Zoom calls with them through DOC and the Girls Empowerment Program, emails, just conversations. I felt like I already knew them, but it was so much fun. I got there and I stepped out of the van, and everybody knew my name, and everybody was so friendly and all the hugs. So getting to know the staff, and then the opportunities that we got to do, all the different activities that we got to participate in, from the Girls Empowerment Program to the Boys Empowerment Program to the baby house, the Eyeglass Ministry. It was just the shoe ministry. There was just so many opportunities. We really formed a team and made some good friends on that trip. And I think that's what I took back home with me, was helping the people and the friendships that I brought home with me.
That's great. What do you remember about some of those experiences? You rattled off a bunch of them very quickly. And were there any of them, in addition to the girls' empowerment, that stood out that you particularly enjoyed yourself?
The Eyeglass Ministry. We were in so many events where we were dealing with young people, the feeding center, the baby house, the preschools. But this time we got to help more of the elderly community. And they came in, and we had done a small eyeglass ministry at the boys' college the day before, so I had participated. And the bishop came up to me and he says, "I need a partner that knows what they're doing." Well, not that I knew what I was doing, but the bishop and I partnered up, and it was really fun getting to know him as a friend, and then getting to work with the elderly. And one particular gentleman came up to us, and he was in his mid 90s. I think he said he was 95, and he was telling us he couldn't see very well, and we weren't sure what we were going to be able to do to help him. So we started out about mid range, and all of a sudden he had a smile on his face, and he goes, "I can see the tree." So we had him looking out a window because we were inside a church. And then the next one, he said, "I can see that." We upped the glasses, and he goes, "I can see the tree move." And so we said, "Okay, well, we've got one more strength. Let's go." And this gentleman put those cheaters on, so to speak, and he looked out the window, and he went, "I can see the leaves on the tree." And he was so excited, and he had tears running down his face. And Bishop and I were in the same boat. We had tears running down our face. But this gentleman was about the age of my father, so it really hit home that here's this gentleman that's not been able to see, and now he can see the leaves. And I understand that he went out and got his glasses from the team distributing, and he did a little jig, and he says, "I can actually see where I'm walking now." So it was just a blessing. And I know we treated people, we helped people from maybe in their 50s, like I said, all the way up to the 90s, but he was just so genuine, and they all were so thankful that we were there helping them. So it was really nice to know how much we really are appreciated. While we know the children appreciate everything they do, the elderly seem to appreciate it even more, and they could share their feelings. So it was really a blessing to serve that community.
It is. Usually we're working in high schools and with children, but we do on occasion, like your team got to experience, do community outreaches where we get to work with the adults. And just anytime you can help anyone with their vision. That was one of the most common miracles that Jesus had in the Bible, was he would help people with their vision. And it's been one of the favorites of all the things our ministry does. We've probably handed out about 30,000 pair of glasses over the last several years. So it's been a major thing that we do, and it's one of the things almost all the Americans that come report back that it was one of their favorite of the outreaches we do. Juliana, you've been sitting there pondering what you're going to say. What was your experience in those 3 trips you had with us?
Yes. Well, like Cindy said, there are so many opportunities that you put together for us, Doc, from the vision ministry to the foot washing and the shoe ministry. But girls empowerment, I would say that definitely was a highlight. Like going over the first time and hearing like what the program was, I was a little like hesitant and nervous about that. I was like, like I don't like talking about that myself, so how would I be able to share that with other girls? And then once you get there and they get the kits and you see their faces and just how happy they are about receiving a kit, that's really why I wanted to continue in the States and see how I can help continue
You've
the
been
program.
amazing with your passion for that program. And you bring up a point that was very important to my wife, Beth, and I. We were actually missionaries in the country of South Africa for about 10 years before we realized the need for these menstrual hygiene kits. And the reason is it's kind of a taboo subject that people don't talk about. And these girls had this incredible need that we weren't even aware of. And once we started hearing their stories about how they would stay home from school and they just it was a really big problem for them that just was hidden. It was under the carpet. Nobody talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
And once we brought it into the light, it was pretty easy to find some solutions. So Tell us a little more about what you do with Girls Empowerment and how this program works. I know most of our listeners probably don't know anything about it, so why don't you start from the very beginning? What you do, what you know, what you like, and encourage others to join in and help both you and Cindy with this amazing program.
Sure. So each kit has, we call it a base, and it goes around the panties. And this is all reusable material, so it's supposed to last about 3 years. And so they use it during their period. There are liners that will collect the blood, and they come with 12 of those liners. So throughout the day, they can change out. And I am a non-sewer, so I help with the administration part because at our church we have monthly meetings so that non-sewers can also join. And what we do is we prepare the fabric, and so that's either cutting the material, tearing flannel, and then the sewers have the opportunity to take the material home and work at it so that they don't have to bring their machines each time to our church. They can work at home at their leisure, and we have a really neat checkout system that St. Francis allows us to store all the materials in a room, so that we can have the prepared materials in cabinets. And I love the monthly meetings because it is a lot of uh, just fun talking with the ladies, seeing each other, and working towards a project. So.
Yeah, and Cindy, we've made some changes in the program over the years. I think it's new and improved, but would you bring us up to date with kind of maybe some of the history and some of the changes that we've made recently and what kind of response that you're getting?
Okay, well, we have we were with doing a certain pattern, and we hit some roadblocks, so we decided to develop our own pattern. And so currently, what the girls were getting is they were getting a drawstring bag, and then they get these bases, and they look like this, and they've got little bands on them, and these are made out of cotton. These are flannel, and they can put up to 3 of these flannel inserts inside one for heavy flow days or light flow days. When they get the package, they snap around their panties, and it gives them the protection they need to be in school. Then the girls get 2 of these, and we put this in a little pod so that they know that they can always carry this with them. You know, it's handy, and they can just fold it up and drop it in their purse or their school bag or whatever they're taking.
And all the guys in our audience should close their eyes right now. Just kind of bear with us.
This has become so natural for us. I'm sorry.
No, yes, I'm joking.
But they get 2 of the bases, and then they get 12 of the inserts. Now, what we've been doing is our teams here in the U.S. and our sewing team over there these are all sewn by our teams. And we include a washcloth and 2 pair of panties. And we send these over to South Africa. When they get to South Africa, they add some type of wet bag or a bag that they can put their dirties in for the day, a bar of soap to help with the hygiene, and a little tracking card. It shows it's the directions on one side, and then they can track their cycles on another side. One of the changes that we just recently made is we are going to be stepping away from the drawstring bag, and we have designed this little crossbody purse. So they can wear it across them. They can open it up and see inside. And this one, and it has a little pocket inside. This one was made very colorful, so we could, grab people's attention as we're demonstrating these products. But we think the girls are going to like the little drawstring bag, and they can just throw it over and carry it around.
And you must put a patent on that. I think you designed that, didn't you, Cindy?
Well, I used somebody else's pattern, but I sized it, I downsized it. It was a huge messenger bag. And when I made the first one, and my 11-year-old granddaughter was with me, and while she's very tall, it looked very good on her, but I know most of the girls over there aren't, they aren't 6'11" 11-year-olds. So it looked a little funny. So we played with sizes made a couple different sizes, and the team voted on this one.
Our girls love those. They've already had experience with those, and so thank you so much.
So now what we're doing is we're trying to build teams here in the U.S. to build purses, just to make purses and donate them. Some of our older teams will continue to do the other products, but we're encouraging sewing teams to join us. This is a very simple pattern. Once you've made one, cutting them out takes more time than making them. They're very simple to put together. And we ask that you still donate a washcloth and underwear with the project. And with that and a donation of $20, you're going to keep a kid in school, a girl in school, for her whole high school year. She's not going to have to sit at home. She's not going to miss school. She's going to be able to go to school. No one's going to know what's going on. And it gives them the dignity that they need to graduate from high school, to actually have a chance at a career at college and not get in, hopefully step out of the realm of poverty that they possibly are in right now. That's what we're doing. We're doing this for the girls.
You ladies are amazing. I want to share with my listeners that we stole the idea of putting $20 in the purse from my good friend Franklin Graham. He works with Samaritan's Purse, and they, for many, many years, have had the Christmas shoebox program that they go around to churches all over America, and they have the churches put together a shoebox full of Christmas gifts and ask you to put money in it to pay for shipping. And so we're doing the same with these purses. You put in $20. You can do it, the ladies can do it personally, or get your church to help with the money while you do the sewing. And we use the $20 then to pay for shipping the purses over to South Africa. But more importantly, most of that money is left over to pay ladies in Africa to actually sew the kits that we used to sew here in America. So we have a group of 4 or 5 full-time ladies that sew for us in our Letabo Sewing Center. And as this program grows, we'll hire more ladies in South Africa to sew these kits. And in the past, for the last several years, we've given away 2,000 to 4,000 kits every year. And with this new program, I feel we can go up to 10,000, 20,000 kits every year and just bless more and more girls. And it's such a joy when you ladies here in America who get together and socialize and work together to sew these purses. And then a few of you, I know not all of you, but a few of you can actually come to South Africa and help hand out those purses and with the menstrual hygiene kit inside of it, and just see the blessing that the girls get. One of the important things that we do with this program is we also use it as a collective audience to teach the young ladies. And we teach them about women's health issues, cancer detection and prevention. We teach them about abortion, which is many, many things that we talk to them about, just to instill in them Christian moral values and just good common sense, so that it improves their lives. One of the problems, as an American physician, see in working in South Africa, is the children are just not parented like they should be. And I so often have the same complaint of our children in America, but it's even more serious in South Africa. The children just aren't taught the way they should be taught, and we have an opportunity to share with them as we give them these gifts. And we're doing the same thing for boys. We give boys just a hygiene kit with deodorant and toothpaste, and things that they would appreciate. And we also teach them about Christian moral values, teach them about pornography, and just improve the lives of these young people. Okay, you guys have had a chance to think a little bit. What else would you like to share with our audience? Juliana, do you have anything else? Maybe tell us how you enjoyed coming over with your parents.
Yeah, so the first trip that I had was with my parents, and so that was just a wonderful experience to experience with family. And then I went by myself the second trip, but there are several return pilgrims that went as well. So it was just a good chance Our trip specifically was parishioners of St. Francis. So it's just a good chance to meet more people from our church, so that we can see each other at Mass and just feel more of a community when I go to Mass. And then the third trip was just me and my mom. So that was another great time. And so that was our first girls trip, me and my mom. And now we're going to Australia and New Zealand together next year as a mother-daughter trip. So
Oh,
looking
amazing.
forward
I
to
love
that.
your parents.
Yeah,
Please greet your dad happy 70th birthday for me.
I will. Yes.
Yeah, we miss them
Um,
here in the Iowa area, but we still get to communicate with them pretty well.
Yes. One other thing that about the girls empowerment that I love, like when Cindy was showing the kit, is how vibrant the colors are. So we do try to make them fun, and Cindy does a great job picking out all the fabric. She's a, uh great asset to the team.
Yeah. Well, Cindy, you've helped so many people across the entire United States. Tell us a little bit about how you've gotten in contact with some of them and how you've been able to help them and share your patterns with them. How does that work for people that aren't near West Des Moines and able to meet with you face to face? How are you promoting this across the whole country?
Well, we've got Brett and Wendy in the office, and they're going out to different conferences, different events, and they're meeting and greeting people and meeting teams that there's something about seamstresses. Somebody, and this happened to me with Juliana, when Juliana and her mom and that group came back from South Africa and said, we're going to start a sewing group. And I'm like, okay, I can sew. That's something, that's a gift I have. I'd like to get involved. So that's how I got started, was just God gave me this gift. I'm going to use it for something positive. And Juliana and I have been clicking together for over 10 years now, and we've developed a wonderful friendship, partnership, and with our team. And we've kind of set a base where Juliana kind of runs the business side, and I kind of run the sewing side, and we've just found that teamwork works. So Brett and Wendy are going out, and they're finding these women that are seamstresses or quilters, and they're like, oh, we could do that with our scraps or our stash, because everybody that's a sewer knows we all have a stash somewhere. But they've made some connections, and then they pass those names on to me. And it might start with an email, it might start with a phone call, and you just never know. You might end up with me on your doorstep. We've got a great team going in Sioux City, Iowa now, and that was just a quick day trip up there, and made some good friends up there. And I do a lot of FaceTime calls with a lot of people. I've done trainings over FaceTime. It's a great opportunity. It's a great way to meet these women, and when they have questions in their sewing, they'll FaceTime me. I've been standing in the aisles at the grocery store explaining how to put something together with a sewing machine before. But it's great. And some of those connections, I know I've made lifetime friends. There's a group down in Mississippi, and I was on my way to Georgia, and I looked at the map and I went, I'm going to be 20 miles from Marion, Mississippi. So I made a phone call, and we set up a date, and on the way down, my husband and I spent a day at a church in Marion, Mississippi, meeting women, and we have formed lifetime friendships through that. But most of them are through, I'm going to say FaceTime, phone calls, email is a great way. With this new pattern where they've got several teams, I'm just starting to get to work with some new teams about making the new purses. So I'm really looking forward to that opportunity.
And do you have any of these patterns? Do you have a video or anything that you can send people a link to so that they can actually, it helps to talk to you, but I'm sure it would help to look at a video of how you do all of this.
I have done YouTube videos of making all the components of the original kit. I have not yet done this one, but it is definitely on my list. This pattern was just released last month.
Good.
Yeah, just last month we got it all put together, got the directions with the help of Brett and Wendy, and you can reach out to the office or to me, and we can send those patterns out to you with all the directions, all the information. I will be working on a video. Actually, this week I've been cutting out a lot of the bags, And that's when I need to start to make the video. So it's on my bucket list to do in the next week or two. And then that video will be available, how to put this purse together.
By the time this podcast is published, I'm sure you'll have it online on YouTube. So if any of our viewers or listeners are interested in being a part of this, please contact us through our website, blessmaninternational.org, or however you connect with me. My email is doc@blessmaninternational.org, and I will be sure to connect you with Cindy and Juliana so that you can learn more about how you can be involved in this amazing program. And I never like to miss a chance to invite you to come to South Africa. We love to have people come and visit us and serve with us in South Africa. We typically have 8 short term mission teams every year, and some of those teams are full and it's not possible for you to join them, but many of them always have 1 or 2 or 3 spots that you could just jump on another church team. Our year starts in January with the Catholic St. Francis team. Father Ray, this will be his 11th year in a row that he's come over with a team of his own parishioners. He's actually retired now, but he still brings these teams to South Africa every year. And then throughout the year, we have other teams come, and you can connect with them through our website. Just go to blessmaninternational.org, hit the tab Get Involved, and scroll down to Mission Trips. You'll see the dates of the mission trips, and pick one that fits your dates of when you'd like to travel, and check with our office and see if it's possible that you could join that if you'd like to make a trip to South Africa. I promise you it'll be a trip of a lifetime. We've had over 1,200 people come, and for many, many years they report back to me it's one of the best things they ever did. So thank you for listening today and watching today.
On one note,
I was going to give you another chance.
Okay.
Go for it.
on one note, when Doc says you can join a group, even though I went with Father Ray and the St. Francis group, the only person I knew on our trip before I left was Father Ray. St. Francis is a very large parish, and we had some non-parishioners join us too. But I did not, like I said, except for Father Ray, I didn't know anybody on the trip. And so I jumped on the trip, and with joining any group, you will make friends for a lifetime. I now have lifetime friends that I didn't know before I went in January. So jump on those trips. Take the opportunity. It is well worth the time, and it is an adventure.
And I would like to point out to all of you that don't know us very well, we're a Christian ministry, but we're absolutely ecumenical. We work with Catholics and Baptists and Methodists, and anyone who is even doing their best to follow Christ is welcome on our teams. And we even have some non-Christians that join us now and then, and they're always welcome too. It's just a wonderful opportunity to meet new friends and bond with each other and serve these beautiful children in the country of South Africa. So pray about it. Get in touch with us if you're interested in coming. Juliana, I don't want to leave you out. Do you have any last parting thoughts for us?
My last parting thought would just be what stands out whenever I go to South Africa are the people there that you encounter at every spot. Everyone is so joyful and welcoming, and it's really the people that have changed me as well.
So thank you for joining us again. We'll see you next week.